All right, today we are opening up the playbook on debt management. We're not talking about just getting by. We're talking about smart, tactical moves that can completely change your financial game. And we're going to start with a problem that is just so frustrating.
So let's talk about a scenario that I bet a lot of you have been through. You finally pay off that annoying collection account. You did the right thing, you sent them the money, and you're waiting for your credit score to shoot up. But then, nothing. Or maybe it moves like 2 points. It feels like a total slap in the face, right?
Well, here's the brutal truth of why that happens. On your credit report, a paid collection is still a collection. It's a big, ugly negative mark that can legally stay on your report, dragging your score down for up to 7 whole years. All you did was slap a paid sticker on a problem that's still, well, a problem.
But what if you could make that whole problem just vanish? I mean, not just mark it as paid, but completely erase it from your history forever. Well, that brings us to maybe the most powerful tool in the entire credit repair world, the pay for delete secret.
This right here is what we call pay for delete, and it's honestly the holy grail of fixing your credit. Here's the key. You are not just paying a debt, you are negotiating. You offer them a payment, but, and this is the important part, only if they promise in writing to completely remove the account from your credit reports. All 3 of them. Not paid, gone, vanished, as if it never happened.
Now, you're probably thinking, why on earth would they ever agree to that? And this, my friend, is your hidden superpower. See, collection agencies buy old debt for pennies on the dollar. That $500 debt you have, they might have paid $20 for it. Seriously. So if you offer them, say, $200 to delete it, they're still making a massive 10 times profit. You have way more leverage than you think.
Okay, but if you're going to make this power play, you have to follow the 3 golden rules. This part is not a suggestion, it's a requirement. Rule 1, you get that deletion agreement in writing on their company letterhead before a single dollar leaves your hand. Rule 2, never ever give them direct access to your bank account. Use a cashier's check or a money order. And Rule 3, and you really need to listen to this one.
You never ever legally admit that the debt is actually yours. You have to use this exact phrase. It's like a magic spell. I am not acknowledging this debt, but I am willing to offer a compromise to resolve this matter. Those words protect you legally while getting the negotiation started.
All right, that's the play for getting rid of old collections. But what about your active accounts? You know, the credit cards and loans you're paying on right now. That requires a totally different set of strategies. So let's open up the debt repayment playbook.
So what's cool here is that there's no single right way to do this. It all depends on what you want to achieve. First, you've got the Snowball. That's where you pay off your smallest debt first. It feels amazing to see an account hit 0, and it gives you these quick wins that build momentum. Then there's the Avalanche. This is the pure math play. You attack the debt with the highest interest rate to save the most money in the long run. But then there's a third option, and it's designed for pure speed. And to understand that third play, you got to know what makes up your credit score in the first place. So look at this pie. The biggest piece at 35% is your payment history, paying on time. But look at that second biggest slice. It's a huge 30%, and it's called amounts owed. Basically, it's how much of your available credit you're using.
And that is the secret behind the credit boost method. Think about it. Building a long payment history takes, well, a long time. But you can change your amounts owed percentage in as little as 1 month. So by throwing all your extra cash at the one credit card that's closest to its limit, you directly attack that 30% chunk of your score, which can give you the fastest score increase possible.
Okay, we've talked offense, but any good playbook has a solid defense. You have to know the traps to avoid, and one of the sneakiest, most dangerous ones out there is the charge-off trap.
So first off, what even is a charge-off? It's really just an accounting term. It's when your original creditor, like the bank, pretty much gives up on collecting your debt and writes it off their books as a loss. Now that doesn't mean the debt just disappears, but it does mean the bank is thrown in the towel.
And this is where the trap gets you. Let's say you have an old charge-off from 5 years ago, and you think, you know what, I'll just send them $25 to show I'm trying. You think you're helping, right? Wrong. What you've actually done is reset the clock. That little payment updates the date of last activity on your credit report, which means that negative mark can now stay on your report for a new 7 years, starting today. You've just breathed new life into an old problem.
Okay, that was a lot of strategy, but knowledge without action is just trivia. So let's turn all of this into a real action plan that you can start the second this is over.
Let's make this super simple. Here are your first 3 moves.
Step 1, get a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. On one side, list your collections. On the other, list your active accounts. Step 2, for every single thing in that collections column, start writing those pay for delete letters we talked about. And step 3, look at your active accounts, find the one credit card that's most maxed out, and make that your #1 target.
You know, this whole thing has been about flicking the script, about going from defense to offense, from being reactive to being strategic. It's about you taking control of the numbers instead of letting them control you. So with this playbook in your hands, which account are you going to target first?